Hunter, what did you think of the reaction from the fans, and what did you think of the game in general and the reaction of the fans to you?
It was pretty expected. Playing in the Big Ten for 3 years, they kind of were familiar with me, but I think the game was really good for us. Just be able to get a test on the road before the season starts to get all the new guys, all the freshmen, up to speed on what it's like to play, high major college basketball. But I think it's just good for the team because, we're a new team, a lot of new pieces that are trying to mesh together. So I think, being able to play a really good team on the road was a good first test for us.
Hunter, how would you describe your relationship with Illinois fans?
I think it's that's a good question. Shit. I think there's a. I can't give you a good answer right now. I'm sorry.
Hunter, you played against Illinois a couple of years. How do you compare this team versus some of the ones that they've had in the past?
This team, feels really connected. I feel like they play really well together. I think Coach Underwood's got a good squad that should be able to make some noise in the Big Ten.
That's loud. KJ and Hunter, do you guys feel like you learned anything about your team tonight?
Yeah, a lot. There's a bunch of little things that we can fix during the season. We're going to have some tough practices coming up because of this, some of the mistakes we did down the road in the first part of the game. But I think this is a great learning experience, especially to start a good exhibition game against a really good team. And I think we're going to learn from it and do good from now on.
Hunter, for you personally, what are the main areas that you're going to look to improve based on this game?
I think defensively, obviously, I know I didn't do a good job out there. I might have scored the ball well, but if you give up just as many points as you score, you're not really helping your team out. So I know I need to do better defensively.
Hunter, you mentioned the freshmen. How did you feel like Jamari and El Marco did here?
They did fine. Obviously, they're not going to play perfect their first game, but you can see the potential that they have, and I think we have the coach that will bring it out of them. They're super talented, and it's just a matter of getting them up to speed on playing high Division I basketball. I know when I was a freshman a couple years ago, it was an adjustment period, but you just keep staying with it, keep staying aggressive, and just trying to fit in, and you'll do good. I think they have that mentality.
KJ, what was it like out there? I mean, it's an exhibition game. Did it feel like that at all?
None at all. It was a fun environment. I feel like the fans showed out for them, and I feel like it was a great, test and just a good away environment for us to be. So I think it was pretty fun. Obviously, we didn't come with the final result like we wanted, but it was a fun game, and it was a great time to learn.
KJ, what was the problem with them shooting in so many threes compared to you guys? 9-3, I think, or whatever.
Can you ask that again?
What did you think of your three-point defense?
Obviously, we didn't do as well as we wanted to, but those are little things we can tighten up during the next practices.
Hunter, you're pretty familiar with Terrence. What'd you see from him tonight and how his game's grown?
He definitely came out aggressive. He scored 28 points, so obviously he was really feeling it, but we got to do a better job of not letting him, get so comfortable early on in the game. I think myself gave him a couple too many easy looks off the pick and roll, and I think that really got him going. And so once you got a good player like that, feeling himself and feeling it out there, he can be hard to stop. But we got to do a better job of helping out the guy guarding him and really making him beat not just him but also us as a whole.
Well, first of all, they've done a magnificent job with the renovation. It looks great. And what Josh and his staff have done from a facility standpoint is so impressive. The oven is off the chain. It was good to walk in, but it wasn't emotional. Not at all. Would it have been 15 years ago? Yes. But there's enough water on the bridge. I've had enough stuff happen and real life episodes and events go on to make, a departure from an institution not seem quite as big a deal as what I thought it was in real time. But it was great. I thought it was a good atmosphere. I think I was actually very happy that this game will prepare us moving forward, because there's a lot of things that happen in this game that will happen a lot in our future games, and so I thought this was really good for us.
Bill, what did you learn about these teams? Obviously both very good teams. Do you see these teams as being like, how much do they have to grow?
Well, we got a long ways to go. We're not close. We haven't figured out who we're going to play yet. We got a little depth. We got a kid hurt, but we got a little depth, and we knew that going in. So we've got some issues where our margin for error isn't as high as what it's been maybe in some years past. And the guys that play need to play well. And like the way Kevin McCullough played today and Terrence played today, you hope you bottle that, but there's no guarantee Terrence is going to shoot it like that or Kevin's going to score the ball like that every game. You got to have other people step up. Hunter got numbers, but he didn't play, and like he's capable of playing. I thought Hawkins had a terrific game and was the difference because he was the guy that we couldn't match up with. And off ball screens and things like that. But Brad's going to have a really good team. Brad's team's going to get better. I like the pieces, and they have enough depth, and they got fouls that they can give inside. There's a lot of positive things about Brad's team, and their men for the most part. I think there will be positive things about my team. I don't think that I see them quite from a competitive standpoint yet. You give up let's just call it like it is. If Brad comes to Allen Fieldhouse and he gives up 82, Illinois is probably not winning. If we come up here or go anywhere and give up 82 on the road, you're not going to win. So our mindset isn't what it needs to be a good team yet. But that's what this game was for, to help us with that. So,
Coach, I just wanted to ask, how was it meeting with some of your former Illini players tonight?
It's always good seeing those guys. I'm on text threads with those guys quite often. So it's not. I wish there would have been more that came back. I think there was probably 8 or 9 that were here. It was good seeing those guys. Sean flew in from Florida. Of course, Lucas drove down, and then of course Joe and Nate drove up, and Serge and Griff and those guys were there. The one I was probably most excited to see though was Frank. Frank was a bad boy. And the best thing that happened that Frank told me today was he got his degree. So that kudos to him, and that's special. That after all this time, it meant enough for him to go back and get his degree. And Illinois, I'm sure, did everything they possibly could to help him with that. But now he's got himself and his son, both college graduates from the University of Illinois. To me, that's cool.
You mentioned finding yourself in situations that the team will be in throughout the season. Just what were some of those key situations that stood out to you from this game?
Late clock. How are we going to guard ball screens? Who's going to be a rim protector? Pick and choose when we run, rather than run every possession. Ball and body movement. We can get real stale real fast, which I actually thought we executed some stuff pretty good considering they didn't have to defend the arc, and we still got a lot of easy shots second half. So I thought we did some good things. I also think the fan interest when Hunter has the ball, I think was great tonight, because I think that's going to happen at other places too. So he needs to feel that. So I think there's a lot of things that happened today that were good for us.
Coach, one more way back question. What do you remember about your last game here?
I was told earlier, last game here, I think we played Minnesota.
Correct.
Sean Harrington's senior day. And Sean, if I'm not mistaken, may have been the only senior on that team. Because that team was young, D. Darren Luther, Roger, and James, and all those guys. But I don't really remember that game. Hate to disappoint Sean. I don't remember that game. I remember some other games here that were special. I think the two I would probably remember the most was Seton Hall was loaded. We're down like 17 at half and come back and win that game. And then if you ever got down 12 or 14 to Wisconsin, it felt like 30. And we came back and won that game. So to me, those would be the two that probably stand out to me the most.
Bill, do you think charity exhibitions like this could become maybe a yearly thing? I mean, pick a cause. You know.
It should be, in my opinion. Now, granted, each year you have to appeal and submit a waiver to get it accepted. But with as many things that are going on in our world right now and tragedies all around us, I hope that this is something that is available to schools if they feel like they want to do something for others. So I hope so. I think it was good the NCAA allowed it.
Bill, it didn't seem like a exhibition game in terms of desire to win and the rotations. Did you and Brad talk about that in terms of what it would look like between you guys?
He said he wouldn't play zone, and I told him we wouldn't play zone. So, yeah, we talked. And then I called him and said, hey, I'm going to leave you this message. I know you're going to do it. Nobody fouls out. And he called back and left me a message. I should have asked you before, but I've already told everybody nobody fouls out. So if you guys are mad at me because that was my idea, you're wrong. That was all Underwood's idea on that. So.
Bill, what happened when Kevin dove for that ball, and is he injured?
I think he got some whiplash or whatever, but I don't think he's hurt seriously or whatever. You know, it's a first game, it's an exhibition game, but it got competitive there at the end, which was good, and we kind of jacked around and finally got a stop and made a bad pass on a break, and Kevin slipped and ended up going back after the ball. So y'all, whatever happened after that, but certainly it was some guys playing hard.
Bill, here in the back, when you think back on your time at Illinois, what was that chapter of your life? What was that growth for you in your career?
Well, you got to understand, I came from Edmond and the mean streets of Edmond. Went to Oklahoma State, assistant at Oklahoma State, coached at Oral Roberts, coached at Tulsa. I haven't left the nest at all. And we're coming to Illinois, and at that time, the public league and Illinois didn't have a very good relationship. And Jay Mariotti and Skip Bayless were your two columnists. So you go from, having beers with everybody that covers you in Oklahoma to that. So it was great learning for me. I think I grew up more here from a coaching standpoint than I did anywhere I've been, just because I had to, and I thought it was great.
Bill, how'd you feel about Jamari and El Marco tonight?
Well, Jamari didn't get a chance to play. Nick played more, and El Marco played more. I think that they did okay, but that's not good enough. I mean, you can't. You got to get where they're aggressive and if anything, be able to guard their man, and that stuff. And we certainly didn't do a good job there. To me, when you're a newcomer, if you're going to emphasize anything to be good at anything early on, defend, rebound, take care of the basketball. And I don't think that we do that as well in those spots. Now, if you were scoring enough points to offset that, that's one thing, but we're not going to do that right now.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Popcorn is excellent. Got great salt today. It's a heck of a day when you raise over $1 million for a lot of people who need it. And I don't think we should lose sight of the fact that two teams competed awfully hard today, but the real winners are not here. They're in Maui and Lahaina, and when you lose thousands of buildings, thousands, and people lose their lives, and you think about the number of years it will take to replenish and rebuild. To me, that's what this is about, and we all get wrapped up in the moment. But today was a really positive day. I want to thank our fans, their fans. Thank Bill for wanting to come back to a place that was so we did a lot of good things, and so I'm very appreciative of that. Moving on to the game, obviously they're ranked where they're at for a reason, but I thought that it was a lot of teachable moments. I was very, very pleased with our offensive flow the first half. I thought we had difficulty at times in the second half, but both these guys got going from three. We took advantage of some ball screen coverages that they had. I was hoping tonight that Coleman might get 23s up, but then Terrence, they went under in their ball screens, gave him great looks, and then really excited about the start of the second half from this standpoint. They made their run. They made a run, and Hunter got going, McCullough got going. We gave them a few gifts that way, and then we withstood that, and we got back to playing really good basketball. We had 3 turnovers late, 7-minute mark or so. Those are turnovers we can't have, but we got a stop or two, and then we ran really good offense. Quincy, I think, had a segment where he was 4 of 4 from the free throw line. And then we had he made a big time 3 on a big time drift play that helped break it open. But end of the game, we had a lot of age out there, a lot of experience, and I will say that early in the season you rely on that. It's going to be an opportunity for everybody to continue to grow in those areas, but we were trying to learn in those situations, and experience was something that I think Coleman was the youngest on the court, and he's been with us 4 years. So, but Kansas is a heck of a team. They're going to have a great year, and we just got to keep being everyday guys and do our job.
Coleman, Bill Self made the comment, obviously you weren't here, that you were the guy, you were a tough matchup for him. And hearing that for the first time, what does that mean to you from where you've come as a player, meaning the fact that you were tough for him to guard and for them to scout?
Yeah, I think it's exciting to hear that, knowing that this is an exhibition game and it's October, so going down the stretch, it's going to be tough for a lot of teams. Not only for Coach Self, but for a lot of teams, and two, just knowing kind of my value on this team, what I can bring for this team, and it doesn't always have to do with scoring. It can lead to other opportunities for people to score and creating mismatches. So it's very exciting to hear that, especially here in October, because we got a long season ahead of us. So.
This is for both you guys. I guess with the experience you guys have, has that helped your offense maybe be more fluid entering this year versus last year, if that makes sense?
I think so. I think we still got to do a better job of kind of reading switches, creating advantages there, knowing when to slip, knowing when to reject cuts, playing in open sides, spacing the floor, knowing when to back cut, things like that. But I think definitely, because we tried to do it last year a little bit, and we still kind of have some of the similar actions as last year, and it's just kind of getting on the same page too. I feel like we're all on the same page here offensively, and it's been successful so far, and it's only going to get better too. So,
for both of you, really competitive for an exhibition game. How important was the scoreboard in this one, and what was the approach going into the game?
Well, every game we play in, we want to win, and we don't go into a game saying, "Oh, it's just an exhibition and we need to get through it and see where we're at." We're trying to win and be better as a team. So we just look at it as learning from this game and looking at the film and just getting better from it.
Yeah, I mean, like Coach was saying, I think the biggest thing was, knowing the value of what this, what's coming out of this exhibition game, and it's a good feeling, knowing their ranking, whatever. Beating Hunter again. He played in this league a long time, but I think, like Coach was saying, the true winners are the people in Maui. So just kind of understanding that value as well.
For Terrence, like, what do you really enjoy playing with older guys? Like your coach mentioned, after the last media timeout, Coleman was the youngest guy on the floor, and he turns 22 in December. Just what is the benefit, and what do you like about playing with older guys?
I like playing with all guys, but just playing with older guys is just experience on the floor. A lot guys, they all been in the situations like we were just in at the end of the game, and we just been there before, and we can huddle up and everyone can get their input, and we know how to adjust. Like Coach said earlier, they made the run and we settled in and we handled it. And then we got the lead back and we won the game. So it's really good having experience out there on the floor.
Terrence, in the first half, how were you feeling? Like, were you just in emotion? Were you in a groove with those 16 points? How did you feel in the first half?
Honestly, I got it all within the offense. The players that's on the court with me, they get me the open shots because they all can shoot. They're all great players. Coleman had really good screens, and it's hard to help off him if he's shooting the ball like that and actually taking the shot. So it was really good for us and encouraging him to keep shooting it how he is. But I got that all from my teammates, just playing off them.
Coleman, similar question, but how do Marcus, Quincy, Justin, how does playing with them different, or how does it help you and Terrence?
It's still the same game, really. I mean, I think it's just we kind of hit the nail on what we wanted to do early, offensively, and kind of just being a little more kind of structured as far as like what people are going to do. We try to play to everybody's strengths. So I think that's really a big thing, is just playing to everybody's strengths. And we got some really unselfish guys on the team who are willing to, sacrifice, some shots, sacrifice, not getting the ball or whatever it is to create advantages. We run a little split action and instead of Marcus running to the ball every play, he's cutting back door, forcing a low man to help, and I'm able to skip to Quincy in the corner for a drive, and he gets fouled. So it's just like little things like that. They're just really unselfish, and they create opportunities for everybody.
Question for you, Terrence. So obviously you're a team first guy, but I just got to ask, as a competitor, how was it going against your former teammate?
It was good. I was asked what's going to happen, and obviously we want to get the win. But that's every game, man. Just wanting to get the win, but obviously it was good playing against them and seeing them again. But I just wanted to get the win for the team.
Brad, those transfers down the stretch, Justin making a cut to the basket, Quincy going on his run. I mean, from your vantage point, what do they bring to you, especially maybe in crunch time moments?
Been there, done that. And that's very, very cliche, but you're talking about a guy who reads the defense, and Justin makes a great cut. You're talking about a guy that everybody knows he can make a three, and he rip drives it on the play that Coleman talks about, and there's no indecisiveness with veterans and with older players, and when they've been in that moment, they're not afraid to go make a play, and it's comforting for me, that's for sure. And I was curious today to see how they play, and see veterans step up and make free throws as Quincy did, and putting Marcus on the ball and telling him to handle it, and because you can't foul him because he's a 90% free throw shooter, and so there's a lot of positives that come with that. That's not to say that'll always be the case. We got some young guys that are really talented, and but it was the five today that happened to work.
I guess with that group, knowing you have a bunch of 22 to 24-year-olds. I mean, was it your intent for them to be the closers early in the season, or is that something that's developed?
I didn't have a plan. You go with it early because you just you think they've been through it, but it happened today. And so Luke's been exceptional. Today Quincy got going, and so it was Quincy's turn. Next game it may be somebody else's. Terrence had his moment. I thought that everybody who played did some positive things. It just happened to be those 5 guys today.
Brad, what do you make of the competitiveness of this game, and does that show some maturity that you guys are competing even though it's an exhibition?
Yeah, it's been a big focus. It's one of the standards that we've tried to set as being that, our cliche, everyday guy, every day. We probably have had half of a bad practice. Our guys are working. Our guys are it means something to them, and it's their attention to detail is very high, but they are very, very competitive. There's not anybody in our program who's lost, and you play to win. And yeah, we needed to grow, and I played everybody in the first half, and it was a little different the second, but it was every time we play, man, we're trying to hook it up. We're competitive in practice. We've worked a lot of one-on-one. We've played a lot of pickup this summer and fall just to amp the competitive side up.
What did you learn in a setting like this that maybe you wouldn't have in a closed setting?
Yeah, I mean, how you act with the game on the line and people in the stands, and the pressure of that. And I don't want to say, it's obviously there's no wins or losses in terms of going in a column, but it's different. When you're playing in front of a boatload of fans instead of an empty gym, and some guys can step up and make shots and some can't. That's the piece of that. You in a scrimmage, you're playing 10-minute halves and play 3 or 4 of them, and then throw a 20-minute in, and you stop and you coach and you work on situations. And tonight was very game-like, obviously, so there's a big difference.
You only had 8 assists, but it did seem like the ball moved well. It was just a lot of attacking closeouts. Is that what you would attribute that to?
It's low, but I think we're going to be a high assist team. I think we're a team that we have spent a ton of time talking about attacking closeouts, trying to get fouled, trying to spray it, so the assist total will go up. But again, we've got a really good isolation player in Terrence, and he hit a few, but turnovers are too high. We need to be in the 10 range. Didn't like the 3 in a row that we had late in the 7-minute mark, but the assists will go up. Our ball movement was good. I thought we ran pretty good offense.
Coach, how do you feel that your team defended, especially around the rim and transition defense?
Well, I didn't have I thought Coleman was unbelievable defensively. If you guys know anything about ball screen defense and help and support, Coleman Hawkins was off the chart. I felt so comfortable with him in the game on that end. I tried a couple times to take him out, and I was like, gosh darn. One or two possession game, I said he's just going to have to play. He's so good. Anticipation is great. You're not going to stop Hunter totally, but his positioning was good. We jammed his shoulder a few times, and he was very good. I thought we've got to do a better job of, some simple things. We didn't scout. They hurt us in the first half with a couple pin down screens that we were late getting to, and so they got a couple buckets. They ran a little, pocket ball screen play that was unique because it was with their 4-man with KJ. We made an adjustment late and then handled it. That'll be stuff we'll clean up with scouting. But I thought it was solid. I'm still, we can't commit silly fouls. I thought we committed too many of those, but we'll continue to work and grow on that in that area.
I mean, you talked a few weeks ago about just maybe taking fewer threes as as a percentage of your total shots. But I mean, are you seeing maybe something from your team where you adjust your thinking on that? I mean,
I want good shots. What I don't want is what we did last year. 15 seconds on the shot or 16 or more and shoot a contested three. And that's what I don't want. I like seeing the ball move and pop and it becoming, to be honest, a little more equal opportunity. And that's hard to say when Terrence had a night. But some of the biggest plays of the game were Justin cutting because we moved the ball and Quincy hitting a three off a dribble drive. That's ball movement and that's patient. It's okay to shoot a shot with under 10 on the shot clock if it's the best shot you can get. We had a couple possessions today where our ball movement was just phenomenal, and it was the extra pass, and we guys turned down really good shots to get a great shot. And so if that leads to a three, it leads to a three. I'm not going to tell them not to shoot it.
Coach, so late in the game, Terrence was in the huddle, looked really fired up. Can you just talk to us about just his mindset and what's been different about him this season?
Yeah, he hit his funny bone. It's so hard to come in here year one and lead, no matter how old you are, and then you put him in the role of, okay, you're one of our dudes. And you got a bunch of young guys around you who don't know, and he's just so much more comfortable with his role as a leader, as an established guy. A year ago at this time, he didn't know he was going to be first team All-League. He was just going out to try to figure it out, and he's so much better in practice now than he ever was last year at this time. And that's contagious when one of your guys is first team All-League and an All-American, and he's one of your hardest working guys every day in practice.
Brad, has Justin kind of bought into the role that you want, just play hard and be that junkyard kind of role, and has he bought into that, and do you feel comfortable with him in that role?
I feel comfortable with him on the court. I know that. I think his role I think all of our roles are undefined yet. I think we're growing in them. Simply because I don't know him yet. Tonight was better at understanding that, and you kind of, I made 2 or 3 substitutions tonight, and I said, nah, that's not right. Let me just stick, and because I don't know him, and we're still defining those.
Brad, would you want to do this again? Would you rather do a public charity exhibition or?
I love the cause. I'm all about helping other people who need the help. This was a great great support. Our administration did a phenomenal job in a really quick time turning this around and putting this together. There's tremendous value in it. There's no doubt. There's also a lot of value for those private scrimmages when you can literally stop things and coach them and deal with those moments as they occur. But I'm not opposed to them. I don't know why they call them secret scrimmages, but there's a lot of value to this, and I was excited to be a part of it.